A Florida man is arrested after shooting at a Walmart delivery drone. A Florida father is in trouble after his daughter ate his weed. A new study shows that almost all of the Florida beaches have too much poop in it. And a man flew to Florida to attack a gamer with a hammer. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They're all out of the state of Florida because that's what we do on Weird AF News. I say we, I mean me. It's called Florida Friday on Weird AF News. All the weird news from Florida this week. From me to you, baby. Let's do it. A Florida man is accused of shooting a Walmart delivery drone. That's right. A man was arrested Wednesday in Lake County. He's accused of causing thousands of dollars in damage to a delivery drone that he shot at as it was attempting to make a delivery for Walmart. The guy's name is Dennis Wynn, age 72. Oh, Florida grandpa with the swag, shooting down drones. Wow, I'm impressed. He's facing charges such as discharging a firearm in public and throwing a deadly missile into dwellings, vessels, or vehicles. That's a strange way to phrase it. Throwing a deadly missile into a vessel. Oh, man, it's so ridiculous the way they phrase these crimes at the station, isn't it? Throwing a deadly missile as though this is a catapult he's using. I mean, where'd you get this terminology? From 1410? All right, now, as for details of this, we have a two-man drone crew that were at a delivery point in the neighborhood where this Florida man lived when the shooting occurred. They noted that the crew was there campaigning for a company called Drone Up, which are handling these Walmart drone deliveries in Florida. In this case, they were using a proof of concept mock delivery to this particular location. The drone was about 230 feet in the air when it arrived, descending to around 75 feet in the air when one of the members heard what they thought was a gunshot. At that moment, both the crew and the drone raced right back to the Walmart. Deputies responded after the crew members reportedly discovered that their drone had some bullet holes in its payload system. Deputies made it back to the neighborhood where the drone delivery took place. They made contact with the Florida man Wynn at his place of residence, asking if he had any incident with a drone that day. Wynn allegedly said he, in fact, did. He used his 9mm handgun to shoot a drone that flew over his house as he was working on his pool pump. This guy's working on his pool pump, just pulls out his 9mm, which I assume is on his hip, and just blasts at this drone. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little jealous of this Florida grandpa's swag, really. Shooting a drone out of the sky, like shooting a moving object with a handgun. I mean, it's just pretty gangster, man. The issue is, you know that this Florida man also sometimes pops off at the planes that are flying what he perceives to be chemtrails over the neighborhood as well. Probably shooting at cars that are speeding down his street at night. And definitely shot a couple Postmates drivers that, went into his driveway by mistake. This is the issue with the Florida man and the guns. The Florida drone assassin also told investigators that before he shot at the drone, he was recounting past experiences with drones that he thought were conducting surveillance on him. I guess that was the impetus for the shoot down. I love how people with guns also have this delusion that they are at the center of everything and that they're being watched. I mean, the paranoia really runs deep. And then add a gun to the equation. Whee! Good things happening. Now, according to Walmart, the shooting incurred about $2,500 in damages to the drone. The crew noted that business operations would also be impacted due to the aircraft being rendered inoperable. Well, I mean, don't you have more drones? What is this, your only drone? I find that hard to believe. I mean, I would think that your operation is going to be impacted not because you have a drone with some bullets in it, but because now you have to consider that people in Florida are just going to blast at your drones as they're traveling over their properties. A Florida father was arrested after his baby daughter ate the weed. Yeah, and I'll bet this baby didn't even put in on the weed. Sheesh, these babies, you know how they can be. They want everything for free. Free beer, free weed. Always talking about, I don't have currency yet. I don't know how to work money. I can't get a job yet. Let's find out what happened with this Florida man who now finds himself behind bars because his 15-month-old daughter, she ate most of his freshly rolled marijuana joint and then had to be hospitalized. So sad, eating of the weed. This will not get you high, by the way. Just FYI, if you're considering doing this at home, eating a freshly rolled joint won't do anything to get you high. It'll just make you sick in your belly. So clearly the baby was sent to the hospital with stomach issues. This guy's name, the Florida man. Wow, this is a great name. Cody Spiegelhalter. Oh, it's so fun to say with a German accent. Spiegelhalter. Yeah, Cody Spiegelhalter was arrested Sunday afternoon, charged with the child neglects. After this incident unfolded at his home in a place called Bunnell. Cody Spiegelhalter from Bunnell. It all began when a man reported to the police that his niece's child was visiting her dad at his home in Bunnell. Very, very dangerous to allow a child to visit their father in Florida. Whoo, you got to keep an eye out. You really need to give the child one of those cameras that the police have on their chest when you're allowing the child to visit the father. Deputies caught up with Spiegelhalter at his home, which was in complete disarray, according to the sheriff's office. Deputies say the home had, quote, dog feces and urine all over the floor, garbage throughout, exposed nails and exposed plumbings, and also the air conditioner wasn't working. And I'm going to guess there was some drugs and drug paraphernalia. Let's keep reading and find out what Cody Spiegelhalter had for chemicals and drug paraphernalia. Investigators found that while Spiegelhalter was at the home, he rolled a marijuana joint for himself. Well, I assume he rolled it for himself and not the baby. But then he put the marijuana joint down, went to use the bathroom. That's when his 15-month-old daughter grabbed it and ate about half of it. The deputies say while speaking with Spiegelhalter, deputies observed there was loose marijuana all over the residence. And some of it was within reach of a toddler. According to the deputies, also a small amount of mushroom and THC wax were also in plain view and, in their opinion, also within reach of a toddler. Are you guys still against abortion? Now, Spiegelhalter, the Florida man, took the child to the hospital after she began having some medical issues. She was then transferred to a pediatric hospital for treatment. Her current condition is unknown at this time. I hope she'll be okay. I'm pretty sure she'll be okay. Of course, I'm referring to the stomach ache she's probably had to deal with. Will she be okay in life? Oh, no. Definitely not. That's not, ain't going to be okay. None of the Florida children are going to be okay, guys. A study shows almost all of Florida's beaches have unsafe levels of poop bacteria. Well, good thing Florida's economy isn't reliant on beach tourism. Oh, wait, it is. It is. My bad. But don't worry, guys. I'm sure Ronnie D will solve this. He'll just pass a law that says health reports can't mention fecal bacteria, and then it'll all go away. He'll call it the Don't Say Poop Bill. I mean, that's how you solve problems in Florida, guys. Or he could just take all of the turds and put them on a plane and fly the turds to a Democratic state. That solves the problems, too. The article says tourists from across the world flock to Florida for their warm weather and their beaches. But if you plan on hitting one of the Sunshine State's popular beaches for some fun in the sun and swimming anytime soon, please beware. A report just unveiled that 70% of the 244 beaches tested in Florida had potentially unsafe levels of fecal indicator bacteria on at least one occasion, according to Environment America. On at least one occasion, though, I would imagine all beaches in America have potentially unsafe levels of fecal indicator bacteria on at least one occasion throughout the year. I mean, that's what happens. Usually after a rain, go to any beach and there's going to be some sewerage runoff and you know, it's going to be unsafe for a couple of days. You know, as much as I love dunking on Florida, I mean, let's be real. The beaches in SoCal, super unsafe levels of fecal bacteria, sewerage runoff, especially right after a rain. You think I'm swimming in these beaches out here? Hell no, bro. I'm doing pools only. The article says that half of the beaches tested around our country were potentially unsafe. 80% of those along the Gulf Coast were possibly contaminated, according to the report. Then it asks, how does this happen? Well, how does this happen? I mean, it's called pollution. It's called, I don't know, companies just dump their sewerage into the nearest water flow. And, our government doesn't crack down enough. Yeah, and companies don't care. Why? Because there's no profit in it. The profit is in getting rid of your waste as cheaply as possible. So dumping it into the ocean's been a thing for a long, long time. No, we don't fix problems unless there's money to be made in it. We don't do anything. No one does anything. Governments don't do anything. Agencies don't do anything unless they can make a buck on it. That's why that asteroid I just covered. Of course, we're going to spend billions to get up there to get that asteroid and get the elements off it as soon as we can. But, right in our own backyard, no problem. Just pollution. There's no money in that. Bacteria can quickly build up in beaches from sewage overflows, it says. Stormwater pollution and even farm animal poo, according to the report. 3 trends have compounded the risk of this type of pollution: development, outdated sewage systems, and factory farming. Sewerage, however, is among the most dangerous because it also contains viruses and parasites. Yes, you have outdated sewage systems in every major city here. But the cost of fixing it is huge. It's huge. There's no money in that. How can this put me at risk? It asks, how can I be at risk? Swimming in contaminated water can cause a plethora of health issues. Swimming in turd soup is going to cause health issues? Get out of here, scientists. These scientists are geniuses. Swimming in crap water is going to be bad for me. It can cause stomach sickness, breathing problems, ear and eye infections, skin rashes. Each year, the U.S. sees about 57 million cases of swimming-related illnesses, though the vast majority go unreported. Swimming-related illnesses? That's very general. How many of those are shark attacks, all right? The good thing is you guys can go swim in the oceans in Florida and get yourself a free fecal transplant, so that's pretty cool. What South Florida beaches tested unsafe? Well, they have South Beach, Higgs Beach, Dubois Beach, North Shore Ocean Terrace, among others. I'm not really familiar with these. I don't go to the Florida beaches. Yeah, you can't. Swimming in the ocean in Florida is out of the question. You got the fecal bacteria. You got the those things called sharks. Swimming in the lakes in Florida is out of the question because of that flesh-eating bacteria. Swimming in you can't go into the swamps or the rivers because you got alligators everywhere. You can't go to the public pool because you got some, clown pulling out his genitalia. So where are you going to swim in Florida, guys? You just have to fill up your bathtub with some cold water and ice cubes, and there you go. Safe.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, how to get 30, how to get 20, 20, 20, how to get 20, 20, how to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Yay! A man flew to Florida to attack a gamer over an online dispute. And this is why I recommend single-player games, guys. You're not going to get into online disputes. Nobody going to get hurt. A New Jersey man allegedly took cyberbullying to a whole other level when he flew to Florida to attack another video game player after an online gaming dispute. So he gets on a plane and goes to Florida. Unbelievable concentration right there, I have to say. That is laser focus on the anger. I mean, this guy, all that time to book a flight, do all these things. I can't even, I walk into the kitchen and a moment later, I forgot why I even went into the kitchen. This guy's like on it. And they say Gen Z has no initiative or motivation. Look at this guy. Edward Kang, age 20, arrested, charged with attempted second-degree murder and armed burglary with a mask. Armed burglary with a mask. That's an extra charge with the mask there. Kang and the victim, another gamer around his same age, had never met in person, but they played this online role-playing game called Arch-Age, which is a medieval fantasy multiplayer game. Now, Kang flew from Newark, New Jersey to Jacksonville after telling his mother that he was going to visit a friend that he met while playing a video game. When he arrived, Kang took an Uber to a hotel in Fernandina Beach, which is about 30 miles north of Jacksonville, and then went and bought a hammer at a local hardware store. Ooh, a hammer. Stop. Hammer time. And then Kang, with the hammer, went to the victim's Fernandina Beach home for some hammer time. Apparently, the home was unlocked at 2 a.m. Strange. Leave your home unlocked in Florida. What's wrong with you? Authorities say the victim was walking out of his bedroom when he was confronted by Kang, who hit him on the head with the hammer. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down on his head. Do-do-do-do. They discovered a significant amount of blood in the entryway of the victim's home and the bedroom as a result of the bang, bang, Maxwell's silver. Stop, hammer time. The victim's stepfather reported being awakened by screams for help. When he went to see what was going on, he found his stepson on the ground struggling with the attacker who was in possession of the hammer. Now, it says here the victim suffered some severe head wounds, as one does when receiving blows from a hammer. Luckily, the wounds aren't life-threatening. He received some staples at the hospital and is going to be okay. Authorities apparently still don't know why Kang attacked the victim, but they said he told investigators the other gamer was, quote, a bad person online. How about that? This guy's a bad person online. It's going to take a good person offline to fix him. What's wrong with this kind of thinking, man? Come on. I can't imagine being so triggered by online antics that I would get on a plane. First of all, I'm going to look up the price of plane tickets and then immediately calm the F down. Like, it's not really worth that. Guy flies from Jersey to Florida round trip, gets a hotel. I mean, just the cost alone is going to turn me off. I mean, can you imagine being in that kind of rage? I just don't understand it. It kind of reminds me, do you guys recall that story about the astronaut lady who wore diapers to drive from like Texas to Florida nonstop to attack her romantic rival? I mean, this is the kind of maniac you're dealing with here. Lastly, I'll say this particular incident sort of debunks the popular notion that video games keeps the kids inside the house. Clearly, that's not true. Hey, what's up, weirdos? This is your buddy Jonesy here, broadcasting from the closet, and I want to thank everybody who sent me Florida stories the last couple of days. Very helpful for my mission of delivering a quality Florida Friday episode. I think it met the standards. Could have been funnier maybe, but yeah, did the best I could. I want to thank everybody who's reached out to me. I got a really cool comment on YouTube. Got a lot of very supportive listeners of the podcast on YouTube. This is by Brangie Bell user on YouTube wrote, "Thank you, Jonesy, for brightening up my day every time I hear your podcast." Isn't that sweet? That's a sweet comment. I really enjoyed that. Also, I want to give a shout out and give thanks and praise to Eric Hill, who just became a member of the Patreon. And that's super cool of Eric Hill to join the Patreon. And, very gratuitous as well. Very generous of Eric Hill to show support for Weird AF News like that by joining the Patreon. If you don't know what the Patreon is, it's a way to support the show by buying Jonesy a coffee every month, showing your appreciation. And in addition to that great feeling that you get when you know you're supporting a one-man operation inside a closet, you also get access to additional weird media and content that I put in the Patreon every week. So there's stuff that I put in there. So it's pretty cool. So if you're considering supporting the show, I would say take a look at the Patreon first. Go to patreon.com/weirdafnews or go to weirdafnews.com and click on the Patreon banner on the homepage. Or download the Patreon app on your phone. Just do a search for Weird AF News. If you just don't want that kind of commitment with the Patreon, you could just buy me a coffee off the website, weirdafnews.com as well. But anyways, another shout out to Eric Hill for joining the Patreon. Appreciate it, man, so very much. Thank you. And I guess lastly, I just want to say I hope you guys are all having a nice weekend, or you had one, or you're about to have one. And I'll see you on Monday. Good luck with your life, man. And good luck with your weekend.